Rosa Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to work on a new project. This is going to be a baby girl first year folio. I wanted to kind of condense the idea of the month to month into a very practical folio, since I love making folios so much. And I had this idea of having this Glam baby folio. So this is gonna go to my sweet best friend who just had a baby girl, and even though I can't get to meet her yet because she is #1 in Peru and it's impossible to fly right now, so I figured I will make her a sweet gift and just have it shipped over there. And I was really inspired by the whole black and pink, so I'm going to be using my Paris digital paper collection. As you can see here, I printed out some sheets of that because I want this to be like a very glam, super fun album. So I just picked some of the designs, not all of them, and then I went ahead and picked this one as well, and I sized this at 4x4 instead of printing a bigger sheet like here, because I want to use these as little booklets. So that's why I sized it. I wanted a smaller scale for that. So these are 4x4s and I print 3 because I need 12 months. So these are 12. And then also I went ahead and designed some pages to go with my theme. So I made these bubbles. Now these ones are in Spanish. It says 1 mess, 2 mess, dos meses, but I also have another version in English. So these printables are going to be available on my website right now. So so you have 2 options. You can get in Spanish like this one, or you can get the version in English as well. So I decided to make it a little fun and use the ones in Spanish. And then also then I started thinking, okay, maybe I need something cute for the cover. And even though the Paris paper collection goes with my bubbles, I didn't really have anything that I could use in terms of like quotes or baby, you know, make it like a baby collection. So these elements here, these are the ephemera, and these will, you know, complement my Paris collection to be like a baby collection as well. So I wanted to do 2 things. I knew I wanted a beautiful frame for the front cover of my folio. You can of course use the same collections, the same papers, and follow my baby girl tutorial or the 8x8 mini album with 6 signatures, and you can create yourself a baby mini album using this collection as well. So on this frame here, I put 1 beautiful year because it's gonna be the baby first year. So that will be a beautiful cover for the front of your folio. But also I give you an option to have just an empty frame here, so you can cut the inside and add your baby picture in there, or you can just glue a baby picture on top. You don't have to cut the whole circle. And then I added 2 beautiful quotes. This one says, "Your first breath took hours away," and this one says, "A baby makes love stronger, the days shorter, savings smaller, and a home happier." And then I wanted to add a beautiful baby girl on the front, so I'll probably be collaging the beautiful frame here and one of these beautiful images. And I wanted to create something very inclusive for, you know, different skin tones, and also something very neutral, which I really like the, you know, like the black and white with a touch of pink. I think that looks really pretty as well. And then I wanted to create some little tags that we can add on the book. This says, "Look at her go," which is perfect for when she starts crawling or walking. This one says, "Dream big, little one," so we can put the baby sleeping in there. "Welcome home for the first day back from the hospital," "My first meal," of course, you know, just different milestones. And then over here I put "Precious little miracle" and "Our greatest adventure." And I really think these are very, very sweet messages, so I'm excited to see this come together. So let's go ahead and get started. So to make the folio, we are going to use some heavyweight black cardstock. You can also use white. I know a lot of people don't like baby and black combined. I think it's really elegant. And then also I'm going to be using some double-sided tape and all your usual crafty tools. So let's go ahead and start with one piece here. So I am going to trim down. This page measures 8.5 by 11, so I'm going to make this just a little bit smaller. I am going to trim this at 9.5. So then we are going to do two pieces of 6.25 by 9.5 again. Okay, so here is one, and then let me do this other one here. So 9.5 by 6.25. And there you go. And I'm also going to have written instructions on this quick and easy folio if you like. They'll be available on my website. And I'm going to score these two pieces. I'm going to score these at 1 inch and 2 inches. And look at this, I broke my favorite score tool. So I just put a flower in there so it looks nice, but I definitely need to replace that soon. Anyway, so again I'm going to score along the 6.25 inch sides at 1 and 2 inches. So now we're gonna fold along the score lines. So let's go ahead and start with this one, and we are going to do the same here on this other one as well. Okay, so 1 and 2. So the folio is gonna have a 1 inch spine, as you can see here, and then this other 1 inch is going to go down to your base like that. So I'm going to use some glue on this 1 inch section. Okay, and we are going to just lay this flat for now and line it up to one side. Okay, so you want to make sure it's right on the corner there. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So let's go ahead and open this up and do a 1 inch right here. And let's go ahead and place this right there like that. Okay, so let me just make sure it's right on the corner so this will close properly. Okay, so again I'm a little bit off. Okay, there you go. So those little tiny details matter, especially on gatefold closures. Okay, so make sure you're right at the corner there, and then we open that up, we open this up, and we have our gatefold closure right there like that. So now I'm going to cut these sheets, and my designs are made on a 1-to-1, so you can print 12 by 12, you can print 8 by 8, and I size mine here. I think this one measures 8.5 by 8.5, so which is okay because on the bottom you can either print 2 and join together, but I wanted to have these stripes. Let me show you that one. So I want to have the stripes along the bottom of the folio. I think that will look really nice as well. So I am going to just cut these here. I'm going to trim this at 8, let's see, 8.25, just at the end here. And then for the sides, you want to cut these at 4 inches. Okay, so I'm gonna do 4 and 4. Okay, so then I am going to cut this page here as well, And I am going to do, I'm just gonna take out the white on the top, and I want my trim to be, let's see, probably about an inch. But if we place this here, and I'm doing it this way because my printer doesn't print 12 by 12, I can only print up to 11. But, and I also didn't want to alter my print weirdly. So anyway, so I'm just gonna do that trim right there. So I'll probably just need about an inch. Okay, so I need an inch of this, and I'm going to save that. And then I need 4 inches on the width. So I'm just going to cut right at 4 inches and right at 4 inches. So I have those 2 pieces, and I'm going to start on the left side, and on the right side we're going to do a magnet. So I'm not going to glue that one yet. Okay, so I'm just going to lay this flat so I can add my design right there, and then I'm going to add the small little piece right there. See, I love how that looks. Okay, so I'm just going to do glue. Okay, right here. Okay, and then we are going to, I'm not going to do the whole cover just yet, but I do want to make sure that we're adding this piece. So I'm going to cut that one out. So here is that piece that I cut out, and now I'm going to back these on heavyweight cardstock. I'm just gonna go right there like so. So here is that piece, and now what I'm going to do is add magnets behind these on this side. So it's my right side, so when I turn it, it will be on my left side. So I'm going to do 2 magnets to make sure this is going to be really strong and it's not going to, my folio is not going to open up. So I'm just gonna do 1 and that one maybe higher up. Let's do another piece of tape. So no, I was gonna put it like that. Okay, so there you go. So we have 2 pieces of 2 magnets and 2 pieces of tape, and then I'm going to do a piece here of chipboard to create some volume to balance out my magnets, since my magnets are a little bit chunky, and also to give this some volume to make it stand out a little bit. So I'm going to do that right there, and another one on the other side to create a balance. Okay, so I'm just playing with this, and if you have flat magnets that are really strong, that can also work. I just don't like the flat magnets. To me, I feel like they don't work as well, especially for the covers. Okay, so I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to put this chipboard piece right here and another one in between, and then I'm going to glue these back again on another piece of heavyweight cardstock to cover all that mess. So oops, no, that's okay. So I'm just gonna do glue on the chipboard section only. Okay, so just like that, and here. Okay, all right, so now that piece is kind of standing out, and I'm going to just cut these. I'm gonna make sure that it doesn't show from the outside, so So I'm just cutting it quite smaller, just going all the way around. So there you go. So that's how that looks on the back. You can't really see it, but if you want something more even, maybe you can cut an oval. Now I'm going to glue this right at the center. So I'm only going to add glue on this section here, just like that. And then I'm going to take this as my center and line that up with my book. So that's gonna go right there like that. And then we're gonna open this up and add the magnets that are going to go on the other side. And we are now going to add some tape with the sticky side facing up. Okay, just like that. And then I'm also going to do a little bit of glue on each magnet. And now I'm going to hold my gussets perpendicular, and I'm going to make sure to join the front here, right there, side to side. And then I'm going to press down. Okay, so even if the tape didn't hold, I will at least have the marks from the glue, but I think the tape did hold. There we go. So I'm just gonna place the magnets right on the glue marks, and that should work. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this really quick, and then I'm going to test this. So that seems to be fine. Okay, so I'll show you how that looks. And there you go. So now we're gonna open this up, and we are now ready to add our paper. So I'm gonna take off these magnets, and I am going to do this page here first. Okay, so that's how I did that here. So we are going to lay this flat for now and just add that right there. And then we're going to add the small little piece. Okay, so we're gonna put that right here. Okay, so now we have this cover done. Well, not quite done, because I still want to go back and embellish. I want to add one of my beautiful girls, but I'm going to do that after. Let's go ahead and work on the inside pages. So now I'm going to cut 4 pieces of 4 1/4 by 8 inches, and I am going to score at 4 inches along the 8-inch side. So I am going to do the same with these 4 pieces. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then we're going to fold these pieces along the score lines, and we are just, let me grab one here. So we're gonna fold like that, and these are going to be our first 4-month booklets. So let me cut this like that and like this, and then I am going to cut these pieces here. Now what I do is, after I download my files, I copy these, each one of the images, because those are on PNG format, which means they're pictures. And then what I do is I copy each one to my Word doc, or I copy one to my work document, and I size it to 4 inches, and then I copy that 4 times, and then I print this sheet 3 times. So that way I have 3 4x4 pieces. I am going to cut these ones now, and we are going to cut these at 4. Let's see here. So I'm just gonna cut these right here like this, And this is actually going to be cut at 4 by 3 3/4, not at 4 by 4, because we need it a little bit smaller. So one side needs to be trimmed off a little bit, and then we're cutting these around 4. And you don't have to size it on your paper, you could just print it and just cut it, and the only difference is that the scale on your paper is going to look a little bit larger. Okay, so now I'm just going to glue these little pieces. Now I want my booklet to open on this direction, and I'm going to put my piece right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue that down. So let me bring my glue, and I'm just gonna add, and I printed these on 65-pound cardstock. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this right there like so. Look how cute. And I'm going to do 2 opening on this direction, and then 2 opening on the opposite direction. Okay, so I am just going to glue these pieces here. So that one, and this one will also be opening on that other direction. So add some glue, and we are going to put that right there, and same thing with this one. Okay, so here we go. All right, so we have the 4 sections, and now I'm going to use my first 4 monthly bubbles. Now I sized this perfectly, so you can use a 3-inch circle die. So let me double check. This is my circle die, so that's what I measured with. Okay, so it's actually a 2 3/4, and that is exactly the size here of the bubble, or you can simply fussy cut this out. So I am just gonna run this through my cutter machine, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my circle cut out, and now I'm going to glue these right here. So I'm going to start with 1. So 1 and 2 will open to the left, and 3 and 4 will open to the right. So here we go, I have that one there, and now we're gonna do this one just like that. Okay, and then we are going to do the 3 and the 4. Okay, so here we go, number 3 and number 4, and there you go. So now we have the first 4 months. So now we are going to add our little booklets inside our folio, and I am going to use these sheets here, which is the polka dot, and I just cut a small section of 1 inch by 4 inches, and I'm gonna glue these right on the center in between these 2 pages right there. So first I'm gonna put these right on the center, so we don't need to use one whole sheet, we can just do that. And then we're gonna put the 1 month booklets right there. So I'm just gonna glue these straight down. You can of course add magnets to these later on as well, but I'm just gonna lay these right here, and then we're going to do the 2 months. Okay, so we're gonna put that right here, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same on this side. So I'm going to place first is a small little piece right there, and then I'm gonna do the 3-month booklets, okay, on this side right here. Okay, and then we're going to do the other one right here. Okay, so now we have the first 4 months, and now we're gonna work on the center. So now we are going to use 2 pieces of 6 3/4 by 9 3/4, and we are going to score at 1 and 1 3/4 along the 9 3/4 inch sides, and we're going to do the same with the second sheet. So we're going to score at 1 and 1 3/4, and we are going to fold along the score lines, and then we are going to bring our folio back, and we are going to place 1 along the top. So we're just gonna add the glue on the 1 inch section, and I'm just gonna center this on the top, and we are going to do the second one on the bottom. And every time I do this, I like to do 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom, so that way they can balance each other out. And this is kind of like making a little box, so the the center of your folio won't concave in. Okay, so then I'm just going to press down here, and now this one is gonna go right on top like that. And then of course I'm going to do magnets for this section, so I am going to start with my magnets on the top right there. So let's secure that with some tape. Right there is fine. And then we're going to do the second magnet with the tape sticky side up, and then we are going to put these 2 together. So when we do this, make sure your gussets are standing perpendicular to the table, and then we're going to press down so we can stick that tape in there just like that. Okay, so we have these 2 pieces, and I chose this page here so it brightens up the center of the folio, and this is probably where we're going to do like the very first picture of the baby. It's like the first thing that you will see when you open your folio, so I wanted to have a good focal point in there. So this white just gives it a lot of light, so I'm gonna do that. And I went ahead and cut a piece of pink cardstock, and that's going to be a beautiful photo mat in there. And then I'm going to use this sentiment here, the precious little miracle, just to embellish the bottom. So I'm just going to glue this down right there. And this is again definitely optional. You can add a smaller photo mat in there if you like. I just want to have that pretty area for a picture, and then I'm going to glue this right there. Maybe I'll put it right on the center. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue the bottom section so the picture can be tagged behind it, and we are just going to glue that right there. Okay, so now I'm going to open this up, and on this side I'm not going to do anything other than just adding my paper. And these papers are cut at 7 3/4 by 6 1/2. So I'm just gonna place this right here like that. So now I'm going to use 2 pieces of 6 by 9 and a quarter, and I'm going to score at 1 and 1 3/4 along the 6-inch sides, and I'm going to do the same for this one, 1 and 1 3/4, and we are going to fold along the score line again, and we are going to add these on our folio as well. So I'm just gonna fold these 2 and fold these 2. So now we are going to bring this back, and let's go ahead and open everything. So we're gonna open 1, 2, and then we are going to add 1 on the left and 1 on the right, and you want to make sure that you are really close to your bending line without being on top of your bending line. Okay, so I'm going to add glue right here like that, and then we're just gonna center this up and down. Okay, and I'm going to press these down like that, and then I'm going to fold again on my, we have a 3/4 inch gusset on that side, and we're going to do the same here on the other side. So again, a very symmetrical folio. I really love symmetry, and I think this is going to look really nice once we start opening the layers of the folio. Okay, so again, I'm gonna press this down. So now I have 4 pieces of 4 inches by 8 inches, and I'm going to score at 4 inches along the 8-inch sides. So I'm going to do the same for all 4 pieces. Okay, so I'm folding along the score lines, and then I went ahead and cut my paper at 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, so we can cover these sections here. So this one is a little bit smaller than the other ones that we did, and I want these ones to open up like this instead of sideways, but that is definitely up to you. I just want to make it a little bit more, I don't know, dynamic in a way. So I am now just going to glue this down, and I am going to place these right here. So I really like the scale down of the paper. So I think what I'm going to do for some of you that might be interested on getting the digital kit, I'm going to create a separate sheet with these scale down piece right here, so you don't have to play around with the settings. You can just go ahead and print it out. So basically the one that I created for myself, I can put that together as a little bundle maybe, because if you don't have my Paris paper collection, you probably don't need to get the whole collection. You only need like 4 different designs is what I'm using, 4 or 5 maybe. So I can definitely just put together a bundle with the sheets that I'm using, the scale down paper, and the ephemera, and the monthly bubbles as well. So I'm gonna add different options there. Okay, so now I'm just going to glue in there my monthly bubbles. So I am going to make these open up now. So I'm just gonna do all of these, 5, 6, and then inside you can just do pink cardstock. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm probably going to order small little magnets, that way these can stay close. So I'm not gonna add my pink cardstock yet, and for this one you just need small little magnets, like a 10 by 1 millimeter, and I'm gonna try to find the link where I get mine and put it on the description box below. and also the ones that I'm using for the closure are 10 by 2 millimeters. And you can also do the basic gray magnets, which are really good as well, and you can do the large ones. Okay, so those again I'm gonna have link down below so you can have options there. And so now what I'm going to do with these ones is I'm going to do 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're gonna do 5, 6, 7, and 8 here. So I like how that starts looking, and I'm going to add another piece here of paper. So I think I'm just going to cut this one since I already have this one printed out. So again, I'm going to do pieces of 4 by 1 inch. So I'm going to start with the 6 months, and I'm going to put this one down here. Okay, and then I'm going to do one of these. Okay, so I added that piece right there, and you can lay these flat for now while you add these different layouts. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same for this other side. Okay, so now this is how that is going to look, and we're gonna open this up, and we are going to do 4 more booklets on the inside here. So we are going to do 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then here on the center we are going to create different areas to add extra pictures for special moments. And this is why I have the extra ephemera here, because I mean we only have 2 places for picture for month, which is definitely not enough to capture all those amazing moments. But this is why here on the center you can just add so many more pictures as well. So I am going to create 4 more of the exact same booklets here, the same size as well. So these are going to be 4 by 8 pieces of cardstock folded in half. So here you go. So on this section I did the 4 by 8 cards, and this time I made them like the first set where they opened towards the outside of the folio. Okay, so now we are going to come back to the center where we're going to add some room for extra pictures as well, special moments and things like that. So I'm going to start with some black cardstock. So this is going to be 7 inches by 10.5, and I am going to score at 1 inch along the 10.5 inch side and at 1 1/4. And now we are just going to fold along the score lines, and we are going to add these into our folio. So let me just press down here. Okay, so now we're gonna bring back our folio, and we are going to glue these right on the top, but you're going to be below this bending line here. Okay, so it's really important that you pay attention to all of these bending lines. So we're only going to add glue on the 1 inch section, and now we're just going to line that up like with the top. So you want to lay it flat your 1/4 inch gusset there for a minute, and just like that. This is where I'm putting that. And I do have a 1/4 gusset because this is also going to open up. And then let me do what we're gonna put in here first, and then we're gonna come back to the top of that. So I'm going to cut 6 pieces of 8.5 by 5.5, and we are going to score 1/2 inch along the 5.5 inch sides. So then we're going to fold along the score lines, and we are going to put 3 of these together. So we're just gonna fold really quick, and I am going to glue this section just like this. So I realized I didn't use tape for the tutorial, even though I said I was going to. But to me, glue is just a lot faster to use. But you can definitely be using double-sided tape for all of these as well. It's just your preference. And I'm going to do here the same. And we are going to join these 3 together. Okay, so I'm gonna clean off that glue. Okay, so there you go. So we have these 3, and I'm going to do the same for these 3 pieces. Okay, so now I have the 2 booklets. These are 3 put together, and I'm going to use this 1/2 inch to add these on the sides right here. So I'm gonna put it all the way next to the bending line of the folio. So I'm adding some glue, and then you're also going to center this up and down. Okay, so it will be smaller than your page, and we're going to do one right there, and then we're going to do one on the other side. So I'm gonna do the same here. Add my tape, my glue, and then I'm going to put this one right there, right next to the bending line, but not touching it. Okay, so then we have that, and then this is just a lot of room for pictures here, and that's how we're gonna close it. And I am going to add the Paris paper here on the back. So I'm just gonna do one, and then I'm going to do the stripe paper on the bottom here as well. Okay, so I went ahead and added the Paris paper in there and that little piece here to finish up the page, but I really like how the combination looks, and I went ahead and cut the little sentiment here, and I think I'm gonna add that right there. So I'm just gonna glue the bottom and the side so any picture can't just tuck behind it. So we're gonna do that right there, and then this is gonna close like that from side to side. And then I also cut some pink cardstock paper, and I cut these at 4 3/4 by 7 inches, and this is going to be smaller than your page because I want to add my labels here on the bottom. So I left that space, but you can definitely cover everything if you like. So I'm just gonna add some glue, and these ones are going to be glued all the way because the picture will go up here. So that's how that one is going to look, and then I'm going to do this one as well. So I have the 2 covers, the 2 front pages, and it will be the same thing. It's the same size, and then I'm going to add these other sentiment here. Okay, so that will go right there, and then for the inside you can do whichever way you like. I went ahead and cut smaller sections, that way we can just layer here for smaller pictures. So for example, these ones are 4 by 4s, so you can kind of break down the page like that as well. So I'm just going to put one here, and let me do one more. Okay, so we're gonna do this one right there. Okay, so I'm not gonna finish up the insides here, you can do that, but I just really like how that looks, and that closes up like that. And then we are going to close this down, and we're going to finish up with this side here. Okay, so I went ahead and cut 3 pieces of paper. One is 8 3/4 by 7 inches, and this one we are going to score at 1/2 inch along the 8 3/4. Next size, it's 7 3/4 by 7 inches, and we are going to do 1/2 inch along the 7 3/4, and the last one is 6 3/4 by 7 inches. Okay, make sure you place this one right on your board. So we are going to score at 1/2 inch along the 6 3/4 inches. And then this is going to be kind of like a waterfall, but I like to call this a cascading page, because instead of being all of these ones the same size, these ones actually grow as we go, but they look like a waterfall. So I'm going to fold along the score lines here. So let's do 1, 2, and 3. And then we're gonna put them together from biggest to smallest like that. So these will be my cascading pages. So I'm going to add some glue right here on this 1/2 inch. So this is the second size, and I'm going to line this up along the top of the largest one. Okay, and then we are going to do the same with the smallest piece here, and we are just going to add this one right on top. Okay, so now that we have these 3 pages, so then I'm going to add this design right here. This one measures 6 inches by 6 3/4, and I'm just going to glue these right here like that. And then I went ahead and cut this image here from the ephemera, and I'm going to put this right on the center here. So I just love having like a title for each section, so I'm just gonna put that right here. And then the inside can just be like different collages. For example, you can do, since these are quite large pages, you can do something like this. Have these are 2 4x4s, and then you can put one there, and then you can put one here, and leave this corner open so the picture can tag in there, and then you just complement the sides with your paper as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this to give you an idea of how you can collage within your pages, but you can definitely just add one more piece of your design paper in here, or your pink cardstock. So I'm just gonna do that. So I'm just gluing this like that. I'm leaving this corner open, and then we're going to put this right there like that, and then I'll come back and finish that up. And we are going to now add this piece into our folder. Open all of these up, and I am going to add that right here on this flap. Okay, so we are going to just add some glue right there like so, and we're just going to add all of these up here, and there you go. Okay, so now we have this large cascading page, and it starts getting larger as you go. And then I am just going to finish up by covering these 2 sides here. So I have the one on the top with the magnet and the one on the bottom. So I'm just gonna glue my paper in here so it looks finished. Okay, so we're just gonna add this one right there. Okay, and this measures 6.5 by 7 3/4, the design paper. Okay, so now I'm just going to add one more right here. So there you go. I'm just gonna add the same design in here, And we are done with the construction of the folio. So now when we close it, we will close this like that. I'm going to add a small magnets on each one of these and then cover this with my pink cardstock. So right now I'm just gonna leave it like that. And then this is gonna close like this, and then this is going to close like so. And now I'm going to finish decorating my card. So first I'm going to add my paper here on the back, and then I'm going to cut one of my little babies so we can embellish a little bit more on the front. So we're just going to add this piece. Now this piece was cut at 8 1/4 by 8 1/4, and then I'm going to add this small piece right here so it matches up with the front cover. Okay, so we're just gonna add some glue and place this right there. Okay, and so now that is the back, and then for the front I'm going to cut around one of my babies. Like I said, I really like these black and white neutral colors, so I'm just gonna fussy cut this around. So I have my beautiful girl here. I'm going to add some bling on my frame, so I'm just gonna cut this bling into small sections. So I'm just trying to cut this whole thing out. Okay, and then to give it that round shape, you have to divide this in small little sections. I know it's such a pain, but otherwise it looks too boxy. So I'm gonna do 4 sections of 4 and 2, and that way we can kind of play around with this. So now I'm going to add some of my fabric glue around. I'm gonna start with that side, and then we're going to start just piecing our bling. So there you can see the bling that I added around. And then I also went ahead and backed my baby girl on black heavyweight cardstock, so she's now sturdy and strong, ready for the cover. And I'm going to add some chipboard behind her so I can level her with the frame on the cover. And she's kind of gonna go overlapping the cover a little bit. So I'm just gonna cut this a bit smaller so it won't show on the other side. So I'm just gonna do a piece right here, and of course foam tape will also work. I always like to use my chipboard since I have so much of it left over from projects. So I'm going to do 2 layers. Let's see if that's enough. Okay, so that works really good. And then she's kind of gonna stand right here to the sides of the frame. I really like how that looks, so we're gonna go ahead and glue that. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of glue here so it can glue right there on top. And maybe put it right there. There you go. And you can definitely personalize these and add the baby's name in there. And for my last step, I'm going to be using some glossy accents, and I am going to add these all over the inside of the frame here to protect that. And also I'm going to be adding it on like the baby diaper and the crown. So there you go. Now that is how that is going to look. So I hope that you guys enjoy the tutorial. I hope that you give it a try. And like I said, the digital papers are available on my website. I created a bundle so you can just get everything you need, including the ephemera, the monthly tags and the design papers that I use on this project only, so you don't have to go and get the whole Paris collection if you don't want to. And like I said as well, I also made the PDF tutorial for those of you who like to print it out and follow step-by-step instructions with pictures added. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.